Good evening, everyone. This is Zozo Stockwatch. Let's get ready for tomorrow, May 10th. As you can see, the futures are down right now. The Dow futures for the overnight session have opened up down at down 42 points. The S&P down 4, and the Nasdaq down around 4. So it looks like Trump fired his the FBI director after hours tonight, and that's what's causing the futures to go down. FBI Director Comey was fired after hours tonight, so the futures are kind of reacting to that. And we'll get this out of our way. And let's look at a little bit of news that happened today. Kite, Form 4 CEO purchased 17,000 shares today at $68.58 KITE. Let's see, North Korea had some comments they made. Ready to turn to ashes, available U.S. assets, sky, so I guess they want to blow up the sky assets that the U.S. has. Kite was hitting highs following the insider purchase. Walmart said close to resolving U.S. bribery probe for $300 million. Let's see, Bitcoin surges. I'm just going through some of the news. Cure was down on volume at one point today. Okay, then some earnings came out after the bell. Priceline was warning after the bell, and that took a hit. DERM had news. ARRY had news after the bell, and I'll show you that chart in a minute. Biotech winners today. Priceline earnings beat, but then they warned. Let's see, Yelp missed. That was down in after hours. Disney missed. And that was down in after hours. More biotech losers. SPWR beat. Yelp down in after hours. Jazz was a revenue miss. True earnings per share miss, revenue beat. And let's see, Rex had earnings. This one is doing a 10-for-1 reverse split. Rex, or has done a 10-for-1. I'll have to check that. Halo missed, HALO. And let's see, NVIDIA beat, and they were up big after hours on NVIDIA. So the semis will be in play, I guess, tomorrow. NVIDIA +8. There's the NVIDIA earnings right here. Next, let's see. This is some stuff that was up and down in after hours. Economic data for tomorrow. The crude API came out, and USO was up after hours, I think by like 30 cents on the oil. Yeah, USO was up in after hours. ALRM had a revenue beat. Disney was down at 5:21 p.m. President Trump terminates FBI Director James Comey. So that was the news. And then here's some insider purchases after hours over 100K in money. And you can see MB, TSC, DIN, KITE. Syndicate news that came out after hours. Proposed offering $250 million for DERM. And let's see what else. That's about it. Gold is +7 currently. Futures are dipping again. YM's -50, and the ES minus close to 5. But let's go ahead and get into some stocks we're going to watch for tomorrow. And this is our list. But let's first we'll check out the SPY real fast. And let's open this up. So still having some issues here at this all-time high area. Nothing is ever easy. in the market. They didn't just want to blast this up through it. So we have a high back here on the SPY of 430.32, and you see that's where my red line is, 440.32, 240.32. Oof. All right, he's tried to say. So 240.32, that's the number we're trying to get over, and currently we're having a hard time getting over 2400. Okay, so that's the SPY, and let's just take a look at IWM. And still messing around, a bunch of bottoming tails here, still above the 50 on the IWM. IWC trying to get back over the 10 SMA blue line right here, up above the 13 EMA right there on the yellow line. IBB trying to recover after this sell off, one couple of big days here down, and they're trying to hold this 290 area on the IBB. And let's see, Qs, just take a quick look at the Qs, up there at all-time highs, and Q's just following Apple. You see Apple's ripping. All right, so I don't want to keep you too long tonight. Let's go ahead and get into some of the stocks we're going to have on watch, or I'm going to have on watch for tomorrow. First one up is that ARRY, and let's just look at the 5-minute. We had this big pop up to over $8, and then we pulled back to $7.75. So I'll see if I can get a play in this ARRY for tomorrow. If not, I'll find something else. I hope so. I'm sure of it. BLPH, we'll look at the daily chart of this. And I was getting some action today. I don't like this volume. I wish it was over, a million shares. But, we'll see. I'll have it on watch. It has a high of $1.54. We're holding above the 10 SMA, the light blue line. We're above the 13. So we'll see what this wants to do, if it'll set up intraday on BLPH. CLMT. Nice pop today, over about a million shares, has a high up at that 450 area, closed at 420, getting over this 200 SMA, but then closed below it. So this might be interesting for tomorrow if we can get maybe a continuation move on this CLMT. CLN as in Nick T had a big pop, 17.2 million shares. So you can't ignore this for tomorrow, possible day trade in the CLNT. And I got as high as $7, pulled back to $5.45. So this might be interesting for tomorrow on an intraday setup. Crocs, we're definitely in a bull market. I mean, this thing has been just a gap down here. It's been, just grinding down. Starting to get over the 20 SMA, which is this red line right here, the moving average. Maybe over 625. This might get going on Crocs. 2.3 million on the shares. CXRX. Nice run here, right? It's had a big run, so it's not my favorite, but if it can get a continuation move over 210, or maybe some type of pullback on this, and then, see if it wants to continue after that. DRWI, 1.2 million shares, has a high here of 133, closed 117, got by the 50 SMA, and pulled back from that. So this will be on watch. DRWI on that 1.2 million shares. EMMS, big pop here, 2 million shares in EMMS, broadcast radio. And I don't remember what the news was on this, but it's back below the 200. I mean, it had a big pop. It was up 26% today. So we'll see if this wants to give an intraday setup. ENDP, nice candle here, has a high of 1305, so maybe over 1295 for a 13 break, or if you want to wait for that 13 break, 22.5 million shares, so good volume. We're back above the 100 SMA on this gap here, so might be interesting. HOV, the home builders, we're getting some buying today, possibly over this 240 spot. on HOV and 1.6 million shares. Not a bad candle. You see it's been holding this dotted line, which is the 150 SMA right here. INXP, big pop on what was that? Monday, and then pull back today. We're in an inside candle here. We're holding this 290, so that's, let's call it, trying to hold the $3 area after this big pop. You see the volume that was in here, and 2.3, so more buying and less volume on the selling, so this might give a nice intraday setup. INSY, probably maybe over 1190 for the possible $12 break on INSY. 1.5 million shares. We're at here at the 200 SMA, so you might want to wait for the 12 break on this if you're interested in this one to get back over this 200 SMA. IPXL, right at the 150 SMA, right, this dotted olive line, and it had a high today of 1430, so perhaps over 1430 IPXL can get going. 3.3 million shares. LPTH, trying to break this 3 area, tried to do it back here on the 4th, had a high of 303, and we had a high today of 304, so maybe 306 might be enough to get this going. The shares were a little light, but could get interesting. MYGN, looking for a higher day break of 23.29, 1.1 million shares. You see the gap up. I believe this was from earnings. We have a previous candle of 23.27, and the high, like I said, is 23.29, so maybe over 23.30, 23.35-ish area on a MYGN. NAK, I believe this has news coming out either Thursday or Wednesday, so it's been getting a run up into the earnings. 15.7 million shares today. It's up and over $2. It's had a nice run, but if there's a pullback in the market, maybe to the 195 area, 190 area, this might be interesting. NAK, and this is a industrial, I think it's gold, right? Gold. NEOT, big pop, not a lot of volume though, not a lot of volume, 500,000, and we did have a high of $2.39, so this will be on watch, but I don't like this volume, so not a favorite. NPTN, 2.5 million, hitting the 50 SMA, pulling back, but it has a high of 886, so maybe 890 sends it. NPTN, keep your eye on that one. OPTT has been getting some volume on this, trying to make a bottom here and starting to turn up, trying to get over the 13 SMA, and the 13 SMA currently is $1.60. So if we can get over maybe 164, 165, maybe a continuation in this to fill this gap right here. So keep that one on watch. PRTY has been popping. There's takeover speculation around this name. 700,000. So I'll have this on watch. Maybe if we can get back over 1650 on PRTY. And let's see. It actually, I think, did this have earnings after the bell? I think it did. And so that might be another reason to have it on watch. PRTY. RGSE, it's been getting volume, had volume pop here, and now we're starting to turn back up after it was rejected at the 50, but now we're back over the 50 SMA on RGSE. 1.3 million shares. We have a high of 141, so maybe 142, 143 in that area, or you might want to wait for it to break this 150 spot on RGSE, but the volume is coming in, and it is back above the 50 SMA. SMSI, 1.5 million, has a high of 138, closed at 129. The 100 SMA is 133, so maybe over 135. This might, get a little pop. We do have the 150 SMA right here up above, and that is at 144. So we'll see how this sets up intraday. SPWH, 1.1 million, nice candles, no sellers into the close. SPWH, and we have a high of 470, so maybe over 475 you might get a run up to that 5 spot if you want to give SPWH a look. And next one up is SPWR. This had earnings, so I had put this on, and then I realized it wasn't doing very well after the earnings, so I'm going to go ahead and negate that one. So take SPWR off. TROX, chemicals, and it has a high of 1767, volume of 1.6 million today. So this could be interesting. TROX, if it can get over, let's see, 1767 high, 1727. And let's see what this candle is right here. So maybe if it gets back over, 1740, 1750 for a possible continuation move on TROX. And you see this is the top of the gap right here. So, but could be interesting. VRX, big volume, 125 million shares. Coming up to the 100 SMA though, but it's a little far off. It's at 1273. So 1205, and we had a high of 1243. So we'll see if there's any kind of continuation move, maybe like a red to green move tomorrow, since the market's going to be, maybe possibly pulling back with the futures down tonight. We'll have to see. We'll see how things shape up in the morning. This has been Zozo Stock Watch. Thank you very much for listening. You can catch me on Twitter at Zozo Stock Watch, or StockTwits Zozo Stock Watch. Thank you very much for listening, and have a very nice evening. Let's get ready for tomorrow, 5:10.